We all know the U.S. economy is in bad shape, and for a measure of how bad it's gotten, check this out. Joe Biden doesn't even know how to pronounce the word economy or the word for those who study it, economist, anymore.
7 Nobel laureates in the economy, on the economists, and the economics, I should say.
Economics.
Your guess is as good as mine there, really. He's also not too clear, old Joe Biden, on what his job and role is in all of this.
You know, I know most families are focused on just putting 3 meals on the table, taking care of their kids and paying their bills. Helping you do that is my job. That's a president's job as well.
Okay, hang on, Mr. President. If it's your job and it's the president's job as well, then kind of, I don't know, got this question in my head. Who's actually the president? But anyway, it all gets worse because asked when America's runaway inflation will come down by reporters there, he didn't have much of an answer for that either.
President, when do you think inflation will come down given today's jobs number?
Yep, just take a seat there like you're just riding on the bus there, old Joe. Those are some highlights from Joe Biden talking about the listen, Jack, the money thing. Actually, he was signing a bill to act on COVID-19 fraud, though that legislation still leaves Fauci walking the streets. Go figure, yesterday in Washington. But if you want a real measure of how the U.S. economy is going and just how far the country is from recovery, don't just look at the figures. Instead, look at the media and how they're trying to still cover for him. A great example of this came in last month in where else? Well, the New York Times, the once great newspaper that has lately found a market playing on the neuroses of angry, overprivileged suburbanites with "In this house we believe in science" yard signs on their front lawns. As if to do the spade work for permanent recession and gray socialist misery, they presented this interview, the New York Times did, with left-wing economist Herman Daly under the headline, "This pioneering economist says our obsession with growth must end." It was all full of the usual nonsense about capitalism killing the planet, forgetting, of course, the ecological utopia that was the old Soviet Union. But it was very much of a piece with other New York Times anti-growth propaganda, such as this piece, which suggested one great side effect of inflation would be that it would drive more people to stop eating meat. But this leftist campaign to turn cheeseburgers into the new cigarettes is just a sideshow to the main game, which is to use magician-like distraction tricks to convince people that no, the lousy economy isn't real. It's just a vibe, man. Meet Kyla Scanlon, a 20-something economics influencer. Yes, there is such a thing, who has been given space in the New York Times to tell us that the recession is all in Americans' heads. Gaslighting much? The New York Times has given Scanlon space to claim that America is in a vibe session, joining the cavalcade of recession deniers who say that a recession actually no longer means 2 consecutive quarters of economic shrinkage. Who knows, maybe it was in a pool. Scanlon writes, "There is no recession yet. Right now we are in a vibe session of sorts, a period of declining expectations that people are feeling on both real-world worries and past experiences," unquote. Yeah, man, it's all about the vibe. This is, of course, a phenomenon we see all over the world when the left is in power. The bad economy is just a thing that happens, and anyway, who needs to do all that square stuff like pay bills or be prosperous, right? It's why New Zealand, whose economy has fallen into the doldrums under Jacinda Ardern, implemented a well-being budget, and why Australia under Labour, where interest rates and inflation are now moving at a gallop, is about to do the same. But really, in the end, who knew that Australia's great cinematic lawyer, Dennis Denuto, made famous in the classic movie The Castle, had become an economist?
What section of the Constitution has been breached?
Section? What section? There is no one section. It's just the vibe of the thing. It's all part of it. This is what I'm getting at. That's my point. It's the vibe of it.
Inflation, interest rates, it's all just the vibe of the thing.